I'm Rob Sarney, and you're listening to What the Heck Fintech, where you'll experience and learn that Fintech is Fin Life. Let's get started. This is part 2 of our conversation with Mohammed Dastigir. If you didn't see part 1, please go back and watch it because it was great coaching and mentoring from Mohammed. Now, on to part 2.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit here now. So question on, Massachusetts, I think we could be the biggest fintech ecosystem in the world. Mm-hmm. We have so much opportunity. Where is the fintech going that people aren't even thinking yet? I know everyone's talking about AI, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you hear about agentic AI now. But where do you think things are? Because every year there's something new to focus on because technology is so rapid. And all these super smart people are taking it everything to the next level, IT-wise, and just fungibility and usability in different industries for technology, and especially in the finance space. Where is the puck going?
Yeah. I wish I had a crystal ball and I could tell
Your
you
opinion.
what it is. But because then we'd be wildly rich if that was the case. But here's so this is very interesting. I was just having dinner with a couple of very close friends of mine who are not, by the way, in sort of the tech world of financial services, but I would say they've lived and breathed sort of the VC and rode the stock market back before it crashed in 2008. So let's just say they've done really well for themselves. And so a couple of these are buddies of mine who bought Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 50 cents. Just saying. So these guys are all, should have listened to them, didn't listen to them. But anyways, the one thing that we all reflected on was kind of going back to the moment of the mid to late 90s, early 2000 timeframe. And remember, everybody remember, well, maybe some don't.
That's when you had hair, right?
That's when I had hair. Yes, that's right. I did have hair. Look, this is the ID that proves that I had hair. Everybody was worried about Y2K. Oh my God, what's going to happen? We had dial-up internet. If anybody remembers this, right? It was like you got to dial up, hear the modem cranking, you get onto AOL.com. I can't believe there's still a domain. Yeah, I can't believe there's still a domain called AOL.com. Like AOL.com still exists. Like people have AOL.com email addresses. That's when you date yourself, when you have an AOL.com email address. Anyways, so like you said, technology is moving so fast, and quite frankly, in the last 5 years through COVID, it is just leaps and bounds of what has happened, right? Meta, AI, agentic AI, all these things. If I was a betting man, and I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would say the next big thing that's going to happen, and what that means, I don't know. But quantum computing and the ability to compute at super fast rates, that's the next big thing. Because I'm going back to where we were 25 years ago and how slow it was. You'd sit up there, dial up modem, it takes 3 minutes for you to get online. Now, if we can't be online in 1 second on our mobile phone or our computer, it's like, oh my God. Everyone now is so wired and glued. Some of us have 2 phones, 3 phones maybe, I don't know. But we're also glued to our mobile devices, which is quite frankly not a good thing, especially for younger kids. But we're so glued to these devices. And we are consuming massive amounts of information in such short time that even our brains can't handle it. It's like, forget multitasking. Multitasking used to be something people used to talk about before. We're quadruple tasking now, right? Between the amount of data that we're ingesting into our brains, which maybe is why I'm bald. I don't know, going back to the bald analogy, I'm not sure.
Could be.
But it's like we're ingesting so much data and so much information. And if you think about 25 years ago when it would take us 2-3 minutes to finally dial up, and then it's like, good luck, you send your email, that you don't know when the email would reach the other person's inbox, right? And if the file size was too big, I mean, like 1 MB, it wouldn't even get sent. Like 1 MB wouldn't get sent, and now we're sending like gigabytes of data. So all of this will fundamentally change of how things are happening today once quantum computing really becomes the new norm. And, I don't know how far away we are from the next supercomputer, but you think about just from a communications perspective, right? Where were you before? Dial-up internet, then we had 3G, 4G, LTE, 5G, LTE. What's next? 6G. All of these communication patterns that are happening, including, by the way, the AI capabilities, they're limited to some extent unless you actually have computing capacity. So you kind of need to have this new wave of technology that comes in, call it emerging tech, quantum, whatever else that may be, that's then going to enable all these other technologies that are currently being built out. So then you're going to get a new phase or a new wave of some other AI, right? Or maybe we're sitting here right now and maybe this already exists. There's a hologram of a person, I want to call my wife and it's like, call Hikwi, and then all of a sudden it's a hologram and she's standing, who knows, right? It's like, who knows what the future holds. So I think this is where the single thread that's gonna really kind of, just take things to the next level is quantum computing.
That's so interesting. I've been going to AI around Boston, AI meetups, and it's a group called Tough Contenders, and they bring in the health industry to talk about AI.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at Microsoft, and they were talking about quantum computing. So you probably know this way better than I do because of your background with electrical engineering as an undergrad. For with the whole neutrons and how you do it as a parallel, do they touch each other? And that's what makes it so fast. With I guess with all that,
Yeah,
it was way over my head. But the thing that really stuck with me, it's great computing without a strong business case to spend that amount of money right now to do it. But the world's going to change, like you're saying. And the guest speaker that was there, that was at Microsoft talking about it, it was a quantum company too. And I was talking to them and saying how I think you should get connected with the financial industry for that next wave of quantum computing. Because as Web3 happens, which is the internet
100%.
running on blockchain, there's so much computing power that has to have there. The metaverse, so much compute, and to do transactions securely, and to have all that encryption going on. So I'm immutable. It's Rob Sani.
That's right.
I know it's Mohammed. And all that computing power is going to be needed. Otherwise, it won't work.
Correct.
So but we're not there yet. We're not there culturally there, and we're not there yet infrastructure-wise.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
But eventually we will be, and I recommend, I actually said to the person, connect with me, I get connected with financial institutions. They're looking for it because they're gonna need it definitely in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more. And again, that's why it's so interesting, because it's like, I mean, if just again, just close your eyes for a minute and remember 1999, 2000, and how we were all like, oh my God, we can email people. It's like, there was AOL Chat Messenger. Before Facebook, there was MySpace. Like, you remember all this stuff?
Oh, of course.
And so all of that changed because of the computing power. It wasn't quantum, but it was a new sort of digital age that was popping up. So there's going to be a new, I believe, digital age 2.0 or whatever version of this you want to call it, that's going to come, and it's going to be huge. The enabler of that is going to be quantum computing, which is then going to open up doors for all these other capabilities that are out there, meta, AI type capability, all this. These are all things that are going to benefit from that. When that happens, how that happens, I mean, who knows? But I think that, coming back to your question around like Massachusetts, this is why this is one of the reasons why we believe we can be that epicenter of this massive new next frontier. Because ultimately, we have top talent coming from across the world, and hopefully that continues. Well, I won't get into political stuff here, but we have awesome talent that's coming here between all these academic institutions, whether it's MIT, Harvard, Northeastern, BU, out in UMass, out in Western Mass, and WinU, and all of these academic institutions. I mean, you just take a look at the diversity, the international students, all of the different local talent that's coming from across the US into Massachusetts. And when we then take a look at that talent and what they're doing and the influence that they're having in some of these huge technology or financial services companies, and even more broadly, right, kind of across even some of our more broader ecosystem partners, whether it's service partners, you can think about Verizon. Verizon is not a financial company, tech company, but they're a service provider. And whether it's Verizon, whether it's AT&T, whether it's Motorola, it doesn't matter. These are all companies that are now leveraging and or adopting and coming up with new innovative ways of delivering capabilities to the consumers. We all benefit from this, right? I mean, that's what it boils down to. So it's this circle of just talent and innovation that we want to continue to build. And we believe Massachusetts is the place of where this is happening. We just need to do more of it and do it probably more organized.
That's great. Yeah, I agree. And it's going to be a lot of fun learning and doing that with everybody. Yeah, it's going to take a village to make this happen.
Absolutely.
So my last question, we talked about so many great things. How can our audience get connected into the ecosystem? Some of the events we talked about, some of the media, what do you recommend for at any age, IT executives and finance, or not even in finance, or and students? What do you recommend for our audience to get connected into so they can live the dream that we're living?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Boston or in Massachusetts, but definitely in Boston very specifically. There's an organization that was established back in late 2019, early 2020 by a group of leaders between sort of the state and the public-private sector partnership, and it's the Mass Fintech Hub. I think we mentioned it. That organization is meant to be really what you call like a hub and spoke model, right? Where they're helping create these connections across all of these different ecosystem stakeholders. So whether you're in the industry, whether you're an academic, whether you're a student, teacher, it doesn't matter, dean, whether you're in the investor world, angel investors, VCs, CVCs, as well as obviously from a startup and then service provider, as I mentioned before. All of these ecosystem stakeholders have some hand in the game around helping establish Massachusetts as this global fintech hub. And actually, if you just go to massfintechhub.com, you'll take a look at different opportunities. There's job boards. There's, hey, if you want to be, you can kind of self-identify who you are, and there's different programming that's there. So if you're a student and you're looking, or maybe at your early career, or somewhere in your career, and you're looking for mentorship opportunities, or whether you want to go to a career fair, Rob leads these awesome boot camps all across the state, where we put students in a room for 4 hours, turn the temperature really hot, and make sure they get educated on fintech. We don't do that.
It works.
It does work, actually. It does work, yeah. But there's tons of stuff that's going on, and there's obviously other organizations, whether it's the Fintech Sandbox, which really has this unique data access residency program for startups to participate in. And then there's Mass Challenge, right? Which is, again, a key. These are all nonprofits, all focused on the entrepreneur. all with a different value prop, but they all ultimately come together. And then obviously, if you're in the academic space, the majority of academic institutions, whether you're at WPI or WinU or over here in Boston, there's some sort of an accelerator, or even maybe fintech degree programs. Rob, actually, kudos to you. You helped launch, I think it was the first in the country, right? Fintech degree program at WPI. First in the country. And now that I know there's other academic institutions that are also looking to do the same. So the key thing is to get involved. And you asked the right question, which is like, how to get involved? Well, first of all, you have to recognize that you should get involved. And then you got to put the effort in to get involved. And so the first step I would go if I was anybody is I would quite frankly go to the Mass FinTech Hub website, because there's all information on different things that are happening within the community. Another organization is Startup Boston, tons of stuff. These guys are throwing things together all the time. It's amazing to kind of see how many people are there with blue shirts. The volunteer network is insane. But there's a lot of stuff going on. You got to get involved. And a lot of these events that you're going to go to, you're going to meet people who, you may not recognize the importance of that connection when you're meeting with them, but trust me, that connection is going to be super important down the road. We've heard this time and time again from so many students, so many entrepreneurs, even folks in the industry who have said, oh my God, I went to this event, I had no idea, and now boom, there's all these different connections that are happening because of that. Whether it's an industry partner who now help identify a problem or a challenge that they were trying to solve at their firm, or maybe they established a new partnership with another industry partner, right? A new strategic that never would have come to fruition. Or it's students who are like, oh wow, I'm learning about financial services, technology, the intersection of both, and the different opportunities that are there. And then maybe that's helping them become encouraged or motivated to launch the next Amazon or the next Google or the next whatever it is. And so that's the key. I think that's the key pieces. You asked it, get involved, show up, make those connections, and the effort that you put in, you may not see the results right away, but trust me, it's going to pay off in the future.
100% agree. It's all about the networking, right? And the learning. Keep learning, keep growing, keep networking. Good things will happen.
That's right. Yeah.
Mohammed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know you have so many more stories. Will you come back sometime?
Yes, and now hopefully next time we'll do this. We're not too far away from Boston Harbor. I was telling Rob, next time we'll do this on a boat. We'll do a podcast on a boat.
Listen, we'll bring all the equipment. We'll do it.
That's right. We'll just do it.
That's right. Bring a whole crowd.
That's right.
It'll be great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, thank you, Mohammed. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to What the Heck Fintech. Make sure you tune into our next episode as we continue to interview fintech leaders and share real-world stories from across the fintech ecosystem, so you can fully understand that fintech is fin life.